In 1912, China's last imperial dynasty collapsed. The Qing Empire, which had ruled for nearly 3 centuries, fell to revolution. But what emerged wasn't a unified republic, it was chaos. The new Republic of China was weak from birth. President Yuan Shikai tried to restore the monarchy with himself as emperor, but his death in 1916 created a power vacuum. Without a strong central government, China began to fracture. Into this vacuum stepped military commanders. These were men who controlled regional armies, collected taxes, and ruled territories like personal kingdoms. They became known as warlords. The most powerful warlords emerged in the north. Zhang Zuolin, known as the Old Marshal, controlled Manchuria with his Fengshan army. He was ruthless, ambitious, and built a formidable military machine. In central China, Peifu rose to power. A former Qing officer, he commanded the Zhili clique and controlled Beijing for years. He was known as the Jade Marshal for his supposed integrity. Meanwhile, in the south, different dynamics played out. Sun Yat-sen's nationalist government in Guangzhou claimed legitimacy, but real power often lay with local military commanders who paid only lip service to the revolution. By 1920, China had fractured into dozens of territories. Some warlords controlled provinces, others just counties. They collected taxes, printed money, and maintained private armies. The warlords fought constantly. The Zhilianhui War of 1920 saw 2 major factions clash near Beijing. Battles were often brief but brutal, with soldiers switching sides for better pay. Alliances shifted like desert sands. Today's allies became tomorrow's enemies. Warlords formed cliques based on personal loyalty, school ties, or simple convenience. Foreign powers exploited the chaos. Japan backed Zhang Zuolin in Manchuria, while Britain and France supported various warlords to protect their interests. China was becoming a playground for imperial ambitions. For ordinary Chinese, life was harsh. Warlords imposed heavy taxes to fund their armies. Banditry was rampant. Infrastructure crumbled as resources were diverted to war. The educated class watched in despair. Intellectuals saw their country tearing itself apart. Some joined revolutionary movements, others tried to work with warlords to maintain stability. In 1922, the First Zhili Fengshan War erupted. Zhang Zuolin's Fengshan army clashed with Peifu's Zhili forces. The battle raged along the railway lines of northern China. Peifu emerged victorious, becoming China's most powerful warlord. He controlled Beijing and much of northern China, but his triumph would be short-lived. Meanwhile, a new force was gathering in the south. The Chinese Communist Party, founded in 1921, began organizing peasants and workers. They saw the warlords as enemies of the people. Sun Yat-sen's nationalists, based in Guangzhou, also grew stronger. With Soviet assistance, they built the Whampoa Military Academy to train a new generation of officers loyal to the revolution. In 1924, the Second Zhili Fengshan War began. This time, Feng Yuxiang, a Christian warlord known as the Christian General, betrayed Peifu at a critical moment. Feng's betrayal shattered the Zhili clique. Peifu fled south, his power broken. Zhang Zuolin entered Beijing, but no warlord could now claim to control all of China. The fragmentation deepened. New warlords emerged in the power vacuum. Some controlled just a few counties, ruling through fear and patronage. China was truly breaking into 1,000 pieces. Warlord economies were bizarre. Some printed their own money until it became worthless. Others taxed opium production or extorted merchants. Economic development stagnated nationwide. Foreigners watched with mixed feelings. Business interests profited from the chaos, buying concessions cheaply, but diplomats worried about complete collapse, which could draw in competing powers. In 1925, Sun Yat-sen died. His successor, Chiang Kai-shek, began consolidating nationalist power. the northern expedition to reunify China was being planned in Guangzhou. The communists and nationalists formed the First United Front. Despite ideological differences, they agreed on one goal: destroy the warlords and reunify China. In July 1926, the Northern Expedition began. Chiang Kai-shek's National Revolutionary Army, advised by Soviets and including communists, marched north to challenge the warlords. The warlords were divided and unprepared. Wu Peifu's forces crumbled first. The nationalists captured Wuhan by year's end, demonstrating their military effectiveness. Some warlords switched sides. Feng Yuxiang, the Christian general, joined the nationalists. Others tried to resist, but their armies were no match for the disciplined National Revolutionary Army. By 1927, the nationalists controlled southern and central China. Chiang Kai-shek turned against his communist allies in the Shanghai Massacre, but continued the campaign against warlords. Zhang Zuolin, the last major warlord, held out in the north. With Japanese support, he fortified Manchuria, but his days were numbered as the nationalists advanced. In June 1928, Zhang Zuolin's train was bombed by Japanese officers who feared he was becoming too independent. The old marshal died from his injuries, ending an era. Zhang's son, Zhang Zuoliang, succeeded him. The young marshal quickly pledged allegiance to the nationalists. In December 1928, China was officially reunified under the Nanjing government. But reunification was incomplete. Warlordism didn't disappear overnight. Regional militarists retained power in many areas, and China would face Japanese invasion just 3 years later. The Warlord Era left deep scars. Millions had died in the fighting. The economy was devastated, but it also created conditions for revolutionary movements that would transform China. Historians debate the era's legacy. Some see it as a tragic fragmentation. Others view it as a necessary breakdown of old structures before modern China could be born. The warlords themselves were complex figures. Some were brutal tyrants, others modernizers who built schools and roads. All were products of their time, men who seized power when the center could not hold. Today, the Warlord Era reminds us how fragile unity can be. When institutions collapse and legitimacy vanishes, power flows to those with guns. China's experience serves as a cautionary tale for all nations. From 1916 to 1928, China lived through its darkest hour of fragmentation. But from this chaos emerged the forces that would build modern China. The pieces were put back together, but the cracks would never fully disappear.